Hey everybody, Rockin' Robbie Billups here with another superhero mythology, and today we'll be talking a little bit about Batman. Alright, 1939 Detective Comics number 27 came out, first appearance of Batman. He was created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger, and thankfully Bill Finger is finally getting the full recognition as a co-creator of Batman just in the last couple months. So that's exhilarating news for him. I wish he was around to see that, but I'm sure somewhere he's very happy right now. So let's talk about Batman. Everybody's familiar with Batman. He's probably one of the most successful comic book characters ever, right? And I think one of the reasons why people love Batman so much is because Batman, amongst all these godlike characters, is a human who is completely self-made and self-actualized, and he's very, very successful. So Batman's success as a character, I think, corresponds to his success in pop culture. Now, the history of Batman is really telling about the history of pop culture, and the history of culture in general, and just the mood of the country of the generations, right? So in the 30s and the 40s, when Batman was first created, he was very pulpy, he was very dark, he even used a gun. In the 40s is when they created Robin, the sidekick idea, and they did that to bring in a little bit more children into the books. And they wanted children to read the books and grow the audience that way. In the 50s, everything goes very science fiction, just like the movies of the time. Everything's crazy, weird, alien, sci-fi stuff. In the 60s, it gets very campy. It's just like the TV show. The TV show is actually a very accurate interpretation of the comic books of the time. In the 70s, with the work of like Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams, Batman got very socially and culturally relevant, and the stories got gritty and more realistic, but they had this like social consciousness behind it that was really endearing and very, very cool. In the 80s, works by like Alan Moore and Frank Miller led to the very dark and psychological aspect of Batman. Grant Morrison's Arkham Asylum comes to mind, Killing Joke in Year One, Dark Knight Returns. Batman got very dark. In the 90s, you have the animated series, and they kind of used that and the movies by Tim Burton for Batman in the 90s. And in the late 90s, what they started doing was they took and stripped everything around Batman away. They took his family away, they took his city away. His city got completely destroyed by a plague and earthquake. And so Batman had to kind of, from the ground up, rediscover himself as a character. And that ultimately led to the Grant Morrison run on Batman, which might be the most ambitious run on the character to date. In that run, Batman basically goes from a normal man and completely becomes a literal mythological being, a god, if you will, in the pages of Grant Morrison. Nowadays, since the New 52, Scott Snyder, he likes to focus more on the fallible aspects of Batman, his weaknesses, the fact that he doesn't know everything, that he can be unprepared. And what does that reflect about today's comic book readership? Think about that. It harkens a lot back to the Frank Miller and the Alan Moore takes of the character. It's very psychological and it's very much horror at times, the Court of Owls story in particular. And the Joker story, when he came back, he was very horrific and very scary. But those Batmans are more like the 80s one, so I'm pretty sure around the corner we will be getting a more science fiction-y giant Batman again sometime soon. Alright, so Batman, we know, can correspond to the Greek god Hades, or Pluton, right? He was the Lord of the Riches, he was the Lord of the Underworld. He equally split the universe with Zeus and Poseidon, and he took the Underworld. So he was the Lord of the Shades, the Dead, the Night, the Lord of the Night, and the Lord of Riches. And actually a lot of ancient worshippers of Pluton, because they liked using that word apparently, because Hades is just such a negative, evil word even back then. But Pluton was the Lord of the Riches in particular, and people that worshipped Pluton really wanted to kind of get rich, right? Because he was the Lord of all the wealth of the world, see? So, Batman's very rich, he's very successful. What can we learn from Batman and apply it into our lives? Well, number one, purpose. Stay on your purpose. Stay on the purpose. Batman never gives up. He's got a purpose, and he knows what he has to do. Everything in his life leads to one point, and that's his purpose, which we know to be eradicating crime. Now, that's a crazy purpose. But don't always have your purpose be something that's easily attainable, because you'll never challenge yourself. Batman's constantly challenging himself. We'll get to that in a minute. But stay on your purpose. Have a purpose and stay on it. Your friends, your lovers, your family, they cannot be your purpose. They can only be there in support of your purpose. Every action you do, everything you do in work, play, family, whatever, has to be directed towards your purpose in life. And only you can truly find out what you have to do in this world and what is your purpose. And you can make your purpose a career, absolutely. All right, second, proactive. Be it. Be proactive. Batman is very present. He's very in the moment. Now, you could say that he's ruled and plagued by the demons of his past, as we all are. And he's always planning for the future, but he's always right here, right now, as they would say, be here now. He is always present. He's always proactively present. He doesn't react to things. He doesn't focus on things that he doesn't like, or I can't achieve this because this is the way this is. No, no, no. Batman says, I can change it. I'm going to focus on what I can control. Batman knows that his ultimate purpose may be to eradicate crime in Gotham City. He knows that he can never do that. But he knows what he can do is day to day, hour by hour, save people's lives and stop crime. So that's what he does. He stays on his purpose and he's proactively present. He's not reactionary. He's proactive. He's always going for it himself. Okay? He focuses on what he can control, not on what he can't control. Number 3, progress. Make it. You got to make progress. We're talking mentally, spiritually, and physically. Batman is in top peak physical condition. You think he doesn't have to spend hours in the gym per week to get that shape going, to get into that great of a physique, to get that strong, to get that agile? He exercises like a mad person, right? And look, what do you think he eats? Do you think he eats junk food from McDonald's? Do you think he eats pizza rolls every night? No, absolutely. I guarantee you that he focuses straight up on his health, his physique, his nutrition, and his exercise. So you got to do that. You have to maintain a good body in order to have a good, successful, and purposeful life, right? Also, your mind. Batman is always learning. He's constantly improving how much he knows. In fact, a lot of people would say, well, I don't know how to do that, so I shouldn't do that. Batman is like a very successful person. Like in the real world, he goes, I don't know how to do that, so I'm going to learn how to do that. He's constantly expanding his horizons. He also, through like meditation, right, and self-introspection, and journaling even, right? Look at the Batman books. You read them, and he's journaling through them all. Journaling and meditation can really help control of your mind, controlling your emotions and your thoughts, and being able to utilize your emotions and your thoughts to the absolute best, perfect intent and ability that you have, right? And Batman does that. So he focuses on his body, he focuses on his mind and his spirituality. You know, Batman, is he a spiritual person? I don't know. But he centers himself, he grounds himself. He tries to be present, he tries to be at one, because that's the only way he can do what he does, or else he would be completely plagued by all the uncontrollable forces around him, like many of us are in our lives. Batman seeks to first understand and then to be understood. So, stay on your purpose, find your purpose, stay on it, right? Be proactively present, be in the moment, and be proactively going after your purpose, and always make progress, and journal, and keep a journal of your progress. See how far you can make it. Make goals that are unattainable, make goals that are challenging, and move forward. Always be learning, always be exercising, always be improving yourself, and that's how you are going to be a successful person, just like Batman, right? It basically all boils down to self-actualization. That's what it is. He's a man who envisions himself to be above that, and he is when it comes down to it. Some reading material. Always think you should read more here in the Huntsville Attic. So first of all, comic book-wise, you should start, if you've never read a Batman comic, with Frank Miller's Batman Year One. And you can follow that with Jeff Loeb's Long Halloween and Dark Victory. And if you really want to get into the mythological aspects of Batman, read Grant Morrison's run. The very first trade paperback in that collection is Batman and Son. Check that out by Grant Morrison. But as you read his run, read this excellent book by Cody Walker, The Anatomy of Zor-En R, Understanding Grant Morrison's Batman. This will tell you a lot about Batman and what he means as a mythological character that we can implement, attributes from in our life. Also, straight up, is anybody more successful in life than Arnold Schwarzenegger? Everything he wanted to do, he has achieved. Movie star, governor, Mr. Universe. This man is such an inspiration, and no matter what you think about him, this is a perfect example of being able to go out and succeed and get what you want and to achieve in life. Like, no better. This is like a real life Batman. So read more, think more, and do more.